Welcome to a special edition of Keeping the Lights On. We're here today shining the spotlight on one of the incredible sponsors who make this show possible. Our guest today is Bob Wagner, Senior Business Development Manager from the Data Center Group from Panduit. Panduit isn't just a supporter of our podcast, but they're one that's focused on creating a safe, reliable, and efficient infrastructure solutions that connect the world. They're doing this by innovating with their customers and partners to solve their infrastructure challenges. Whether you're a longtime listener or new to the show, you'll discover how Panduit's innovation is helping keep the lights on for so many. So grab your headphones, settle in, and join us for a quick conversation that's sure to illuminate new ideas and opportunities. Hey, Bob, on our main episodes, I like to discuss the meals that bring us together, and we'll ask a guest for a favorite restaurant in their hometown. However, this is a special short edition of our channel, so I want to ask, what is your favorite afternoon or late night snack?
Well, I got to admit, it's not healthy, but I do like my ice cream at night, and I'll generally go for some sort of chocolate or something like that.
Great. Yeah, you agree with my wife, whereas I'm the vanilla guy. So, we'll just have to have a different container. So, hey, we're going to focus on AI data centers today. What is Panduit's role in the larger data center AI computing world?
Yeah, we try to be the trusted advisor, and by that I mean giving value, making it simple for our end customers to put a data center together. And one of the ways we do that is a lot of reference material. And I'm very, very proud that NVIDIA chose us as one of 3 suppliers to do a structured cabling AI reference material that's used by NVIDIA whenever customers want to use structured cabling. And it's simple as what type of transceiver are you going to use from NVIDIA? And then we can lay out the whole architecture from there. So those sort of guides are really a big help. And in general, I would say we, as you know, basically can do anything inside a data center except for those items. They have the blinking lights, the servers, the switches, but we can do everything else. And so we're able to come to our customers with a holistic view and really wrap it up in a nice bundle that's easy to install and it's well thought through so that they'll have a lot of success.
So the growth of AI is well known. Lots of discussions around the need for power, even to the point where people are buying nuclear reactors to run specific data centers, which just blows my mind. But let's look at the need for power from a more tactical level and at the point of the data rack. What are the average power requirements of the data rack, and where are the power needs going into the future?
Yeah, and that is the number one question everybody's asking themselves because the power has gone up so dramatically. For many years now, the traditional rack is anywhere from 7 to 12 kilowatts. And then when you take a look at the hyperscalers, Microsofts, Googles, et cetera, they're at 25 to 30 kilowatts. But the lowest NVIDIA system you can buy is 30 kilowatts now. And they get as high as 120 to 140 kilowatts. So that's a big increase. And then their roadmap 2 years from now is 600 kilowatts. So that's just mind-boggling. But what we do is we have a line of PDUs, which is a power distribution unit. And we have now come out with a new one, or about to come out in August, with our EL2P. First of all, it comes up with a little bit more power. Now you're talking about 415 volts and at 60 amps. And it gives you just shy of 45 kilowatts per PDU. So 2 or maybe at the most 4 will give you that redundancy inside a cabinet, and it can handle any of the H200, B200, B300 sort of systems from NVIDIA. And it adds a lot of bells and whistles. One of the nice ones is it makes it easier to install because it has a multi-axis rotational power cord. The power cord on these heavy, high-powered PDUs tend to be pretty big, but having that be able to rotate and avoid that massive amount of fiber you have in your cabinet, or if you're using liquid cooling, all the hoses, makes that installation much easier. And then with all the smarts that we put in our PDUs, that you can use sensors and locks and everything else with them, it really becomes a very integral part of any AI data center rack.
Why is structured cabling important for AI data centers?
It's very important because, first of all, it gives you management. And the second item is it gives you the ability to scale out. And thirdly, it really protects your fiber. Remember, it's glass and you can break it if you pinch it. The structured cabling comes with a lot of management aspects that will have proper bend radius, very, very important. That management also means the bundles are held together in nice, clean, where you can change things out in the future, but that also puts it in a position where it's not going to be blocking your air. And there's one thing these high-powered racks need is the flow of air. So it's hugely important there. And then scaling out, most people in their data centers, they add some equipment, and then later on, a couple of years maybe down the road, they add more and more, and they want to connect it all together. If you don't use structured cabling, you'll end up having to get all of your new cabling. Your entire cabling plant will have to be redone. With structured cabling, you put those trunks in the pathways. It's all tested, ready to go. You take that stack, that rack, and it's been rack and stacked, and you roll it right in. And then all you do is connect a quick little patch cord from your server switch up to your patch panel, and voila, you're done. When you scale out and you need to make changes, all you have to do is take, again, that short patch cord out, and you can move things around much more easily. So it really makes it simple to scale. It's got a lot of benefits, and I think most people are opting for structured cabling when they look at these data centers.
Well, you mentioned this about airflow and kind of space. And space in a data center is limited. So how can Panduit help maximize the space used?
Yeah, there is a really nice new product coming out called VSFF. That's just a generic term. It means very small form factor. One of the big ones is the MMC. There's also the SNMT. Those are like an MPO12, which is the most commonly used connector in an AI data center, but they're about 1/3 the size. So what does that do for you? It gives you a patch panel where you have a significantly larger amount of fibers per patch panel, so you're getting higher density. But I think maybe more importantly is when you're having to pull those trunks through your pathways and they get very congested with all the fiber needed for AI, that smaller form factor just makes it easy to go through those pathways. So it's kind of double duty, but it's becoming very popular, especially with the hyperscalers.
Well, thank you again to Panduit for sponsoring the show. Also, thank you to Bob Wagner, Senior Business Development Manager for the Data Center Group from Panduit, for taking the time to share a couple of data center solutions with us.
Well, thank you, Todd, for having me. I really appreciate it.
And listeners, viewers, you can click on the links in the show notes to learn more about how Panduit can help solve your data center power management needs.